Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Let's talk about an uncivilized mutt. There he is. This is one of the worst pieces of shit I've ever come across. This guy was mocking Nolan Wells' death. Yeah, he made a video talking about how, his friends killed him, them boys killed him. It ain't our fault that he couldn't swim. Just talking really, really reckless. Next thing you know, the uncivilized mutt gets fired from his job. Where does an uncivilized mutt work? How can you find one of these uncivilized mutt? Well, you could go to Clary and Associates, and I'm sure it's some more, they hired him. See, I'm gonna tell you something about people and these companies they work for. The companies know who works for them, and they don't mind dealing with these racists, these uncivilized mutts, until these uncivilized mutts and racists become a liability. They do not mind hiring them, just like the police. They do not mind hiring an uncivilized mutt. In fact, that is a prerequisite to get hired. Yeah, you got to be an uncivilized mutt in most cases. So this fool got doxxed. They found out who he was, and come to find out it's Remington Lane McCall. That's his name. Remington Lane McCall. He was a crew chef at Clary and Associates until they fired his dumb ass. Clary and Associates is located in Jacksonville, Florida. Florida again. Wow. What a surprise. Anyway, fam, it's so many of these type of people out here in the world that we're just unsafe. We're unsafe, and we're walking amongst the uncivilized. Listen, this fool went into a Walmart and complained that there was Muslim music playing. This is what these uncivilized mutts do. They create chaos and then play the victim. This is their new hustle. Go ahead on and come on out with how I feel. And worst case scenario, even I don't like my job anyway. It's a little shitty job. I don't really like it no way. So if I get fired, hey man, all of the other uncivilized mutts will chip in and make my life a little better. And I couldn't have raised this kind of money all on my own. I can raise a few $100,000 in a couple of weeks from the uncivilized mutts. And I can keep on being exactly who I am, because uncivilized mutts have a penchant to reward bad behavior. So this is their goal. Their goal is to now make it known who they are. They want to be able to come out. They come out with their racism, and knowing in the back of their mind that they are going to be rewarded, because they're going to start a crowdfunding campaign. Somebody will start a crowdfunding campaign for them and get them all the money. That's what it's really about. That's their new hustle. That's the new hustle. So he got a goal of $100,000. So far, he's raised $215. If that don't really mean nothing, the more the story goes out, the more the uncivilized mutts will find out about it, and they will donate. They will reward bad behavior. Now, I want you to listen to the texture of this message that they wrote on his Give, Send, Go. Listen to the texture of the message, how he plays the victim, how they play the victim, how they act like, how they try to normalize their uncivilized behavior and make it acceptable. They create the chaos, and then they play the victim. They are experts at it. This fund is for Remington McCall and his family's welfare, safety, and legal issues that may ensue. Recently, Remington made a video that went viral. He complained that Walmart was playing a certain type of music right around 4th of July that was disrespectful to this nation and not of our nation, slowly adding to the destruction and the culture of our great nation. As you can see, we witness every day our country feels less and less like the home we always have called the United States. Since then, he has received constant threats by foreign radicals. Most recently, he went viral again for speaking up and pushing back about the young men in the Nolan Wells situation being accused of taking his life with no evidence and trying to destroy these poor boys' lives. You see how they do it? These poor boys' lives who were allegedly his friends, who withheld information about his disappearance, withheld his phone and his keys from his parents. But these are poor boys. Yeah. In the video that was clearly satire, Remington mocked the people making such accusations and sarcastically confirming their delusional ideas. As you can see recently, there have been lots of hate towards people that stood up for Austin Metcalf and others that suffered similar ends. See how they try to make the connection between the other ones that they like, the other ones that they support? They stringing them along, just stringing them along, and they dumbass gonna walk right into it. People mocked his death and others like Kirk. People literally urinated on Metcalf's grave. But when you get fed up with this behavior and push back, these low moral people will harass and threaten to take your life and your entire families. He's acting like Charlie Kirk was an innocent angel. Charlie Kirk was a bully. Charlie Kirk was an uncivilized, hateful, racist mutt. That's who he was. They're going to find sympathy for these type of people because it's others just like them. It's millions of them. So this is how these type of people can be honored, and they can have money, hundreds of thousands of dollars, sometimes millions of dollars raised for them. They said, people mock the death and others like Kurt. People literally urinated on Metcalf's grave. But when you get fed up with the behavior and push back, these low moral people will harass and threaten to take your life and your entire families. Remington has now been doxxed and fired from his job. Remington has now been fired from his job. I ain't got no problem with that. But I do have a problem with him being hired in the first place. Why hire the uncivilized mutt unless you're an uncivilized mutt? That's right, I said it. I know you. I know your hiring practices. Yeah, I know how you get down. I know what you look for. The only reason why they fired him is because he became a liability. You better believe that there were others on the job who was privy to his behavior. Him and his family have had to leave home completely, as there are videos of people hunting for him to do violence, making constant threats online and on the phone. It is not right for anyone to be treated like this for speaking in good taste or not so great. Good taste. How about just saying not so great? Words do not give you the right to attack and take lives. When the right side speaks up, we are threatened and canceled. When the left speaks up, there are no consequences. It is totally unjust behavior. Never did we want to make a fund begging. You're a damn lie. That's why you made the fund. That's why you did what you did before the fund was even thought of. You did what you did, number one, because you're an uncivilized mutt. Number two, you knew it was a bag at the end. Yeah. You ain't fooling nobody. Y'all had this plan all along. I'm sure whoever was helping film him sometimes, they getting the cut of the fundraiser. They probably started this fundraiser. Never did we want to make a fund begging, but his family is terrified for their life. I encourage you all to start speaking up against degenerate behavior, and let's help restore our nation back to the beauty it once was. So They're basically trying to say that dude was not exhibiting degenerate behavior. Walking around a store, filming yourself, antagonizing people is not degenerate behavior. Walking around trying to incite violence is not degenerate behavior. So they create the chaos and then play the victim. I'm on to you, uncivilized mutts. Yeah, I know you. I know you well. I studied you. I studied you. These uncivilized mutts, they talk just like Trump. They talk just like him. He go out and create chaos and then play the victim. He go out and commit crimes. He break treaties. He break all types of agreements. He talked to the press like these people got tails. But then he talks about how harsh they treat him. They want to be able to do whatever the hell they want to do with impunity. And that's the problem. When they get pushed back, now all of a sudden it's woe me. They're victims. But these uncivilized mutts are not victims. They're terrorists. And they should be locked up and brought to heel. But what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.